Hey Matthew, how you doing?
Not too bad. How about yourself, Felix?
Pretty good, pretty good. So we got a decent idea here. I've been looking at this Lumen, Lumn. It is formerly a telecom network company, and you can look at the chart. It was actually, I think it was trading more like 30, $40 over the last 10 years, just straight down. Went to like three, $4.
Yep.
And in August, they finally made an announcement that basically said they had gotten some hyperscalers as customers. And they then made an announcement a couple months later where they were selling off all their consumer business, which is what they had for it was legacy
Yeah.
business. And they were going to focus completely on enterprise and hyperscalers. So what does that mean? So taking a step back, the hyperscalers are building all these data centers all around the country, concentrated in Virginia, California, a couple of these places, and the power is the problem. We've been talking about that. Power is the problem. Where are they going to get the power? Capacity is almost done. The hyperscalers are running around like a chicken without a head across the country, trying to find power, water, land, where they can set up data centers. And they're finding places. AWS went to Ohio, Texas, Wyoming's got a big project going on, and so they're going around and finding spots around the country. So power is the problem right now. Okay, that's the problem, and now the world is starting to speak about it. I'm hearing a lot of people on social. Power is certainly the problem. So they have, and it's not just where we're going to get the power because people understand we're going to get it from nuclear and natural gas. But now the question is, do we have enough? And when is nuclear going to get online? And can the grid hold what we need right now? The answer is nuclear is too far away. Gas turbines are 2 year, 3 year wait lists. And you have the grid, which is for example, Virginia at 99% capacity. There's nothing left. Okay. So now they're going to Wyoming, Texas, and the grid has to be built out. That could take years, 18 months to 2.5 years or longer. Okay. So there's a real problem. That's why we like Bloom Energy BE because
Yeah.
they have these modules and they send them out in 90 days and they're off the grid on natural gas too. So that's the problem we're facing right now. Big problem. The second order problem is what Lumen is trying to attach themselves to. And it's really an underappreciated asset right now. Having this network of fiber, and they're spending billions of dollars right now trying to build miles and miles. I think it's like 40 million miles of fiber. And they're trying to connect data centers to data centers for the hyperscalers. So they got about, I think in August of 2024, they announced orders of about 8.5, $9 billion. And that is to help build it out. And then the hyperscalers are going to pay a ton of money each year. So it's just all free cash flow, right? Once it's built. So they're investing now with money from the hyperscalers to connect them. Now, why is that important? Well, the second order problem is that these hyperscalers, when they're all in North Virginia, they speak to each other very quickly. But when half of whatever Meta or Google's AWS, whatever Microsoft is in Northern Virginia, and then they got to spread out with the rest that they're building in Texas, Wyoming, California, you need that connectivity and you need it at high speed with low latency. And so that is where Lumen comes in, the Lumen network. Now, if it was just a network, I would say, okay, it's good, but it's almost just like how much can it go up, right? The interesting part, and this is where I think the juicy part is for Lumen, is that they are going into their fibers and they're attaching ports to create sort of if there was three fibers coming out of the network, three cables. Now they're putting it into this one port. It's sort of a plug and play into enterprise, right? And they're connecting the hyperscalers. So they have these on ramps with the hyperscalers. So if you were a company, Fortune 500 company, and you had data on AWS and you had other data with Microsoft and so on and so forth, Lumen now can actually do it all for you because they're going to be connected to these ramps, and the ramps are going to connect to the hyperscalers to the data centers, and It's all going to come together under Lumen's watch and then go right to wherever it needs. On top of that, they're making all of these miles of fiber smart. So what does that mean? It's like the way I read it and comprehended it, it was like an app for all the enterprises. So on their port, they could say, well, we want to add, what's the list of products you have? Well, we have this, and this. Do you have Palantir's, main product? Yes. Well, we want to attach that to our data coming out of Amazon. Okay, we have Datadog, or we have Penn West. Security is going to be a big deal. All of these different things that you just literally press a button now and buy the service. And so that's a big deal because that is high margin stuff, software, and makes it easy for enterprises to just plug and play, get a private network. You're not on the public lines, and it's fast, it's secure, and it's made for enterprise, right? And I think when I think through the story, I say to myself, doesn't it feel like they're going to be the most important part of the whole data center evolution? I mean, to me, it seems like it's all going in that way. And you can't just wake up one day and say, oh, we're going to build 40 million miles of fiber. It takes years. And the capital commitment, they already had this. Remember, it failed with telecom. So they now had this. It was just old legacy lines. But that still has value if somebody else wants to come in and build it. Now, AT&T, Verizon have said they don't want any part of this. They're concentrating on the consumer. There's so much to do with the consumer fiber to the last mile to everyone around the country that's what they're busy with. Whereas Lumen said, we'll sell you our business there, our business here, and we're going to focus on connecting Amazon to Amazon and then having a ramp on with all the hyperscalers and then connecting, just basically get a sales team and start rounding up all the enterprise Fortune 500 companies.
Huh. That's interesting because it just reminds me, right? Like what for a wheel to go turning around, right? Like what's the most important part? It's not usually the tires, it's not the spokes, it's the hub. And that's what they're trying to be. They're trying to be the hub that connects all the spokes so that the wheel kind of just constantly turns and you can have this connectivity to talk anywhere basically it needs to talk to because like you said, they're running out of space.
That's right. So they're being forced out. Yeah, they're being forced out, spread. And then all of a sudden I'm reading and I didn't think about it until I was listening to the CEO and she's like, they need connection, right? Their data centers need to speak to the other data centers within Amazon. Right, that's why they're all in Northern Virginia, right, for the power and because they're all together. But once they're forced out of there, all of a sudden you need to connect, and people aren't thinking that far because they're still building these data centers. Some of them are 18 months out, but it's going in that direction. The risk is that they have a lot of debt. And can they manage, the timing to get from here to there? The CEO is trying to help, in Wall Street and investors to understand that they're going to get there. It's a process. So you just imagine where we're going to be in 5 years. And here's the roadmap. And we're going to be free cash flow positive, this amount over the next year. And we're going to take that, manage down the debt, pay down the debt. And we're going to keep going and keep building. And once things are built, the capital expenditure, the capital that we're outlaying is not going to be there anymore. And we're just going to have all this free cash flow coming in. Sounds like a good story if they can make it. So you got that jump of a couple of years, and the stock is only trading right around $7. But I always say, tell me what it's worth if it works perfectly. If they're the only one, they're the connector. Hyperscalers are involved with them. They're going out and getting everyone on the Fortune 500 leg. And what is it worth? It's got to be worth more than $7 billion when you're evaluating all these other companies at like 50 to 100 billion. And so that's how I think about it. And it's going to be steps over time to get to that valuation. Maybe there's a hiccup or two, but if you the CEO is smart. I think she's from Microsoft. She wants you to focus on the next, where we're going to be in 5 years. Just imagine what's going to happen, where we're going to be in 5 years, and then you'll see the power of what we're building.
Well, that might buy her some time too. Just the fact that she's a former Microsoft executive, Wall Street has a little bit more confidence. And I mean, what you're talking about, I mean, that could easily be a 10 times idea, right? Like
it seems like that.
More. It's not more. I mean, really, what was interesting? 20 times idea.
Yeah, what's interesting is that they, again, it got my attention. I've been looking at it for a while. It got my attention when the Palantir signed a deal with them, and I thought, what's that? Like, what's that about? That's when I realized, oh wow, It's the software on top of the network. It's making the network smart. That's what's and at scale, right? It's like it's like an app store where that's on the cloud and people just press it and all of a sudden it's taking. I'm sure they're clipping X% from everybody's product because they're selling it on their network. So they're getting paid every single way.
And that news was probably overlooked by a lot of people because Lumen, I mean, I've traded it before in the past, but just like everybody else, I mean, it's fallen off people's radars.
A
You
hundred
know,
percent.
think it's like a legacy telecom, type of communication company. And really what they're doing is they're repurposing what they have and reinventing themselves.
That's right.
So, I mean, this thing could be huge. I mean, I think there's definitely ways we could play this. I mean, I looked at the chart when you mentioned it and how bad it looks, and yes, I mean, you look at it on
Yeah.
almost every time frame except for the daily. The daily looks pretty good right now, right?
Yeah, and how about the time? Not only like you got to start. It's a new company on August
Yep,
2024. Everything else before that, it's old legacy stuff.
yep,
This is like assume it IPO'd on August 2024. Had a big run,
yeah.
and now it's rounding out nicely like a bowl, and looks like it wants to get back to the highs.
And there's so many levels. I mean, you're going to be able to play it, and people are going to try to trade off of it. But like you said, it's basically a new company. So what's going to happen is, you might get some like these levels. They'll stick. They'll have resistance consolidation there. But this is a different business, and if you got that growth behind it, it's just going to bust through a lot of those levels, catch a lot of people off guard that maybe try to get short at those levels on it. So I mean, this could be a lasting story where you see shorts, kind of pile in as it does go higher too, and that only adds fuel to the fire a lot of the times. So like you
Perfect.
can see huge, huge runs. There's ways that we can play this. I think I've done some data testing. I've looked back just at just some of the simple models that we can run quickly on Option Circle, and we can take a look at that, and then just we'll build one quickly for everyone.
Go for it. Go.
So we ran a bunch of these ideas, right? Like we ran all kinds of different ones over different time frames, anywhere from 30 minutes to like a daily. I probably could have taken out like 30 minutes, um, you know, 1 hour, 2 hour, 4 hour daily. That kind of helps us get into these swing trades or longer. But I ran on all kinds, 20-day pullback, because we are already above a lot of these moving averages and things. We're already above all these crossovers on them too. So I mean, I just wanted to see like, okay, if we get this like a correction, what can we get in, and what's the best real risk reward here? And one of the ones is a model that we already run across a lot of tickers, right? Like it's this RSI just cross above the 30 level. Basically, it's saying, hey, we're coming out of oversold territory. Very simple. A lot of people use it, and it again, like any indicator, it doesn't work perfect with any particular name all the time, but like certain names will work really well. And this is usually when it's coming out of deep oversold territory. So say we finally do get that correction, something like this, has a great return. We can see here, we can just look at these different models right here. These are the best ones right here. So you got the RSI cross above 30. And then we've got some, shorter term moving averages. So anybody can build some of these too. I mean, these are easy to build, but the best one right now, average return, is this RSI cross above 30. Now the risk reward is a little bit lower, 2.43, but that's not bad. I mean, for every dollar that you're risking, you're looking to make about two and a half, dollars. That's pretty good. So you can't really complain about that. There's some better ones here at 3.6, but those will trade maybe a little bit more. As you can see, they're on the 2 hours or the 4 hours or the 30 minutes. So we could always build something like that for people, but this is a story that I think we want to capture bigger moves in, right? I think maybe,
Yeah.
because I mean, it is a small dollar stock. This thing literally could go from, what was it trading at today? $6.85. A simple move up to 850 is where like the next resistance level is.
Yeah.
And that's really nothing for a name like this when it wants to move.
My thought is I don't know when it's going to happen, but it's going to be a
Hmm.
spark and the stock is going to go way up because they're going to revalue it to be what it's closer to what it possibly could be valued at later on. And when
Yeah.
that moment comes, I don't know. They have a February analyst meeting. It's one of their first big analyst meetings, I think, in the last few years. And they've been laying out the story to Wall Street over the last couple of months. going to conferences, earnings. I mean, they've been all over the place, really telling the story. I think they can simplify it. They should probably hire me to tell them like caveman, like, problem solve here, because they go into their technical, setup and how good it is. And I mean, I take them for their word. It's just highly technical. But yeah, I think when it goes, you could see it go make a jump from like 7 to 12 and then 12 to 20 and then, hang out at these levels and just keep making these jumps.
I mean, we saw it recently, right? Like in a lot of names. I mean, how many have we talked about that's
Oklo,
been in the
perfect is example. Look
hyperscaler?
at
Yeah.
Oklo.
Oklo, I mean, the names we've talked about previously, BE, and, I mean,
Yeah.
BE, Iron, Hut, all these names
Yeah.
are hyperscalers, right? Like, so they've had these massive moves and they're up 2, 3, 400% now. Like this, and it doesn't take long, right? Like
That's right.
they re-rate it and it is fast. I mean, just last couple weeks ago, I was looking at ASTS, and that's 100% in 2 weeks or 3 weeks or something
Yeah.
like that. So when these go, they like to go and they go fast. So maybe we want to get into it when it's like on a big sell-off, and then like, hey, like make it a longer term. Maybe we'll go out longer term holding period on like a 25 delta and just let this thing kind of run. That
Yeah, I
way,
mean,
if
I
we
would
do
think
get
right now it's important because it's quiet. The volatility is still very low on Lumen. It's not like there's a lot of action.
yeah,
It's you can't compare it to some of these names that already started moving. So this is one where the volatility is fairly low. You can go out decent long term,
yeah,
and don't pay that much, right? It's only a $6, $7 stock, and so with decent volatility, it can only be worth so much, right? And that's
yeah.
where the bang for your buck is.
All right, well, let's start building something here.
Yeah,
I think the way to go is we'll just go with the best setup. I mean, as people can see, there's other ways to do it, but let's just go with this one for now. And we're just going to go in simple, go to your symbols, just put Lumen in, right? We're just going to
yeah,
make this simply Lumen. And then there you go. And since I think I might even have this where I can import so I can show people just how to do that. Let's come down here. Whoops, pre-screened. Sure, I've got to double check. I might have it broken down, I might not. So either way, we'll be able to do it. All right, yep, right there. All right, so it'll have a volume component to it as well. So right off the
okay,
bat, it's something just easy. Like you can build these all on Option Circle, and just simple as that. Now I just selected a pre built model that we like to use. It's just RSI cross above the 30. And then I do have a 1 million average daily volume trading. I do think Lumen does trade on an
yeah. I don't think you
average.
need that just
Yep.
yet because that'll prevent it from possibly.
Okay. What we could do, we'll even just remove that,
Yeah,
for people. So we'll save that for now. And we'll get that removed for everybody. Not a problem on that. But what we'll do then is just simple, right? I mean, you already had your decision. It's easy to import and then come down, open a position. And what we're going to do is look for a call. And we just want to make this simple, really. I mean, you don't want to cap the upside on this, I don't think.
right.
I,
Not so
I
much. No.
wouldn't.
Yeah, I'd
Um,
like it to run.
So I mean, how long are you thinking? I mean, I think this is, a candidate that has
What's it?
when it starts running, I mean, you're gonna want to be in it.
I
That's
would
the
say 6 months.
okay.
5 months. I want to. I would like at least if it gets a signal to get in, the analyst meetings in February. So I
Okay.
would like that. I would like that analyst meeting.
And are you thinking like the 25 delta maybe on this or something? Or do you want to go closer to at the money?
20. I would say 30.
30 delta? All right. I just think in a name like this, I mean, the risk usually what we're hoping for, right, is the risk that we're taking by buying, a little bit more out of the money. The reward is going to really pay off when it plays out, right? Like,
Yeah, I mean this again. This is a name that could really fly,
yep.
and so you can go out a little bit further, especially now because the volatility is low and you're not paying. The thing about implied volatility is that when it's high, you pay for infinity, right? If it can get there, and
Yeah.
the higher it is, the market's saying, well, the more infinity you got to pay for, you know. And so when volatility is not that high, these things come fairly cheap for what it can actually move.
One thing I would do, since we are doing this like longer term, this could stay, in a portfolio like for 6 months. I mean,
Yeah.
essentially, right? Like if it doesn't get a stop signal from price, or if it doesn't get it from crossing back below a certain indicator that we're going to use here, and really what I'm sitting there thinking about this is, I don't want maybe this to go back down to an RSI of 30, right? Like we don't really want to hold on to that long. We would want to be able to take our profits a lot sooner. So maybe we think about like doing something like, we want to give it room to run, and we know that these things can be volatile and they can have sharp pullbacks during that 6 month period. Maybe we do something different. We don't use the RSI as the indicator to get out. Maybe we go in and then use something a little bit different, like just a simple moving average, right? Like make it easy and make it like the 50-day. A lot of people follow the 50-day moving average. In a name that's been very volatile, there's a good chance that it's going to want to go test that 200-day or something. And you could lose a lot of what you gained at that point. So I don't know, I think that's something that's just easy to use across this one.
So yeah,
I don't know.
because I
What's your
actually
thoughts?
thinking about it, the 50-day, if the stock starts to go,
Mhm.
it's basically climbing above the 50-day for a while, right?
Yep.
It's going to keep going. So yeah, I kind of like that. I want to be in. I don't want to be messing around too much with the little, a little bit of noise here and there. I want to be in for the longer term.
Price cross below 50-day. We'll use that as the stop trigger. There we go. And you can always, like I said, we've been in here. You can title everything so that it's nice and easy on your eyes when you're going through your models. You can know exactly how it was set up. Same here. Go back to call if you wanted to. You just say 30 delta call. Save that. And then, so we got this decision. So if that triggers, we're going to want to get out of that. And that's simple. We really like these one cancels the other order instead of a single. I don't know if you want to cap. I mean, is there a level that you would want to cap price on this option? Um, I mean, it's risky because
Because if it
like
runs forever, if it's like Bloom Energy and it goes up like $60.
the thing is I've seen this, and I actually just recently had it. Like I sold an option. It was like 210%, right? Like it was up 210%, and then I had. I mean, I still have time on the thing. And it's up like 500% now. I'm sitting there looking at it, I'm like, I left 300% on the table.
Yeah,
Like,
the thing what's interesting is that when it gets up to, I've done this for a long time watching these names. So when it gets up to 200%, the issue is that it could easily go back to zero. And a lot of them
yes.
do. A lot of them do. So 200% is sort of like a magic area where like it can go back to zero. And then what happens is the delta of the option starts getting very close to, 80, 90, 100 when you start getting, depending on the time frame, when you start
Yep.
getting up to 200%. And so I always say that, from 0 to 100% is a certain level of difficulty. From 100 to 200%, it's about half the difficulty. From 200 to 300, it's like it can happen so quick. And then from
Yes.
300 to 400 to 500 to 600, I mean, it's almost nothing. It just starts like clipping, and the momentum takes it, and the options moving 80, 90% of stock. And so that by itself is much more than you paid for on the premium of the option when you started. So that's how these things just start ramping quickly.
So, with that said,
So this is the
where
question.
would
Yeah.
you want to maybe cap this? Because I mean, it's a difficult question. Like I said, I sit and I'm looking at this position. It's like over 500% now. And I'm like, I took 210%, which every single day I'm happy with that. And
Well,
then,
let me
but,
ask you, let me ask you a question. On something like this, is
mhm.
there a button that I can press and just say, get me out? Like, am I held? I guess someone might ask, am I held to getting in and then also held to getting out? So
No, see, and
it,
that's the beauty of the system. You're absolutely not held. There is a way that you can manually do that. So if we build
okay,
this, we can go in and we can just show you how you can get out of a trade very easily, right? Like, and maybe we'll do that quick here.
yeah,
So what? Maybe cap it at something extreme here. We're gonna take like a 50% risk, like a 10-to-1 risk reward ratio. Cap it at like 500%, and
yeah.
just
Let's
say,
cap it
hey,
at 500% for now.
go for glory and
Yeah,
in
exactly.
a name like this. I mean, I think you almost have to, and you can always say, okay, something's changed. I want to manually just get out of this, right?
Right.
So,
I think yeah, or look, I have this position and I see something technically I don't like. There's some resistance that it's coming up to right now, and
yeah.
I just want to get out right now on that resistance.
All right. So maybe we do like 1 week before, just because, and again, in this
That's
name,
fine.
like you said, I mean, especially these types of names, they could get whipped around, in that final week of expiration,
Yeah.
and we don't want to just even risk that kind of. All right. So we'll just save that there. Oh, we forgot something. All right. There we go. Price percentage change. All right. So let's go save. Oh, auto force close. We'll do that 1 week before. All right. There we go. So let's save this up. It's obviously speculative.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to call it Lumen. I don't know.
LT, long term maybe?
Yeah, long term. Um,
Bullish?
6 mo for 6 months, right? Like,
Yeah.
just give them some type of perspective here, and then give it a title. Lumen, what is it? We did the 6 month delta. Ah, and we did 6 month 30 delta.
30 W.
Yep. We'll just give it that. We might change the title, but I mean, anybody, you'll be able to see
Yeah.
this. It's Lumen 6 months, DT 30 delta. You can always make these fun too. We're just trying to highlight it, make it easy for people to understand what trade we're doing. You can copy it and call it Lumen going for glory if you want, right? Like,
Sure.
doesn't matter. And then risk tolerance, obviously it's aggressive. This is speculative. And, really we're trying to capture a momentum move here. Images, nice cool thing about this new software update. They just upload some images for you.
Perfect.
I don't mind that. I don't have to pick it anymore. Initial budget, I mean, really, what? I mean, do we need more than 5,000? I mean,
I don't think so, no.
I wouldn't think so on this.
No,
So,
options are gonna be like a dollar, dollar
yeah, I
50.
mean, they really shouldn't be that expensive at all. To do that maximum risk, I'm just gonna throw that 50 on there just to make sure. But it doesn't really matter. You can do this. I mean, for some reason, obviously, if options start getting really expensive as it rolls higher, we could redeploy that, and you're already kind of set up a little bit there. All right, so we won't trade it again. So we're just gonna buy one position on this, and we're just gonna call it New Lumen for now.
Perfect.
All right, so we can save this. Oh, profile name. Oh, that's my bad. Maybe it's the hash, or yeah, maybe it's the dash. Special characters. All right. Now I'm wondering what I put in here.
Profile?
Yeah.
Maybe the agent description, no? Profile name. Oh, there, right there, right there.
Do you see a special character?
Oh, profile name is available.
I just don't see a special character.
I think that's the title. Maybe the profile name is above that.
Oh. Oh. You know what it is?
Huh.
Space. Okay. Where else are we losing this? Oh, key point. That's new. I forgot about that. Call it speculative key. I mean, you can add any key points you want, right? Like
Sure.
in here. So we'll just do this for now, but anybody can add a bunch of key points. And then there's also tags too, and I'm going to guess I'm going to have to add a tag here. We'll add a Lumen tag as well. These are some new things. We're still getting used to the new setup ourselves here.
Yep.
But yeah, now we should be good. We got speculative. We
Maybe
got key point.
hyperscalers in there. Hyperscaler.
Oh
Tag
yeah,
it.
that's a good one. Hyperscalers.
Down below? No, down below, down below.
Well, we can put it here too, I think.
Oh, okay, for key points. Oh, I see.
Yeah. So but then you can tag it as well, right? So, um, and then we're gonna have a way that people can search these, right? Like, so they can search
Yes.
hyperscalers.
Yes.
So that'll be kind of cool. You'll be able to search Lumen and, speculative hyperscalers.
Yes.
You could
Yes.
put in there 30 delta, there's just various ways that you could tag something and then people can
Even
switch it.
AI. Just put in a
Yep.
tag AI. There you go.
So there's
All
just
right.
ways that people can search for these models that are out there and trade them and copy them and use them for themselves. It's a nice way to kind of do that. So now we can hit save. We're good to go here.
Perfect.
So even people that use the system, when we get a new software update, sometimes we have issues, right? But we'll figure it
Yep.
out. So now go to your agents, and there you go. You got your Lumen. Now, what you want to do is you're going to want to create this into a strategy. But what the big thing we want to show you first is, we're able to kind of go right in here. And if you really want to, you can simply come over here, hit this pause button. So you get the
Yeah.
play button, so that's running. But the pause button will let you close trades immediately.
Oh, wow.
So
Okay, perfect.
so I mean, this is what I'm talking about. Like all of a sudden you're like, hey, stories change. I just want out of this position. I'm up some money, but you know what? Let's just get out of this because they said something on, an event or a conference call or a earnings call that you're
Right.
like, I don't like this. I think it's, going to go, sideways or, there's going to be some issues or all of a sudden there's going to be increased competition, whatever the news catalyst, right, is. Um, you come in, literally just hit save. You close all your trades immediately, and you'd
Nice.
be out of that position.
All right, perfect. I like that.
And then you
All right,
just
good.
want
So
to make
that's
sure.
that's live now?
Yeah, so that's live now. We'll be able to get in this. So whenever we do get that bigger pullback that we hope for, this hopefully can capture that, get in that position, and then we got 6 months to see how it goes, right? And then hopefully over that time period, we'll be able to capture a lot of that momentum. And like you said, February, I mean, it's a long time away, but now we got 6 months. So if that triggers any time between now and February, we can catch a big move in this name. So,
Perfect. Sounds good. Thanks a lot. I'm going to check it out.
all right,
All
wonderful,
right.
Felix.
Be good.
Yeah, you too.
Take care.